Before I start, can you guys just clarify that I'm good to go? Is my mic okay? Is everything working fine? Ross, good to see you, bro. Ross, let me know if my mic's okay, please. Let me just double check if my audio is. Yeah, it is okay. Sounds okay. Perfect. Thank you very much, guys. Let's go over some of the market developments first, and then we'll go over some of your questions. Now, Bitcoin at the moment is on a little dump, and the reason it's dumping is because it has a lot to do with the tariffs. The trade wars is happening now. I think Trump has implemented a 20-25% tariff on metals and I think it's aluminium or something. So what that's going to do is that's going to make cars more expensive, and this is the whole concept of trade wars. So when America push tariffs on other countries, them countries are not just going to sit there, especially the bigger ones, the big superpowers like China and EU. They're going to put tariffs back on America, and it does cause the price of everything to go up, which even though it does not cause inflation to go up directly, but as long as prices go up, in that sense inflation does kind of go up, but it's different. So core CPI won't go up if car prices go up. That's how it works. So core CPI is what the Fed uses to decide on their monetary policies, whether they're going to cut raise rates. That's what they care about, CPI. And that tariffs don't affect it, but it does make everything a lot more expensive, and that's kind of why the market is dumping. And Bitcoin has not really gone anywhere. It's kind of flirting with this range over here, about the 90k region, maybe a wick back down here again, because a lot of people are expecting these levels again, which it is possible. If we see the low 70s, 75k, low 80s, it's possible. You cannot fade that move, and this is the importance of having cash on the side, because no one can predict the markets, and you have to keep all scenarios in mind. You can't just completely fade out the move down here and think it can never happen. It can happen, and you have to be prepared with cash on the side to take advantage of this dump, because you get a much cheaper Bitcoin, and you get your altcoins will be a lot cheaper as well. Now, there has been some good developments in terms of Powell was speaking today. He was in front of Congress. Congress was asking him questions, and he did speak about certain stuff regarding QE and QT. Obviously, he's not going to give specific aspects away, but he did say in order for QE to start, we do need approximately 0% interest rates, which we're not going to see for a very long time. For us to see 0% interest rates, you have to see a massive decline in the economy, where the Fed is doing emergency cuts, where they're having a meeting, and then they have an emergency meeting after emergency meeting. They're cutting rates, and then you get to the stage where they are going to start QE. Now, your portfolio during that period is not going to be healthy, but in the end, for you to get QE, it's worth it. Even if your portfolio is down 60, 70, 80%, which could very well happen, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you're getting QE, which your altcoins can then go on to do 50 to 100 X's. So you have to keep that in mind. Now, I don't really see QE happening, but what we do see happening is the end to QT. That could happen, because Reuters did make an article, and I don't know if you guys seen it, and it was actually trending on Twitter, where people were saying QT is going to end sometime in June. Now, it's possible, and the reason I say it's possible is because the Fed's balance sheet, which is over here, is already down to pre-pandemic levels. So in terms of the assets on the balance sheet, it's already down to pre-pandemic levels. So there's a possibility that they could end QT, because if they don't, what happens is the Federal Reserve will have to start tapping into the reserves of the banks. And historically, when that happens, it does lead to a lot of banks collapsing. And if the banks collapse, the whole economy collapses. So banks obviously play a massive role. And for that reason, you have to be very careful not to go into the reserves of the bank. And it's almost getting there. So it's predicted sometime in July, maybe in Q3, that the Fed will have to stop QT. Otherwise, they are going to have to tap into the bank reserves, which ideally is not something they're going to probably willing to do. I don't think Trump will allow that, because when you go into the bank reserves, you cause a lot of issues in the money system. So let's see what happens. There is some optimistic stuff. Another good thing to see is today, obviously, one of the biggest bear cases in 2025 just vanished. So this lady, I forgot what her name was. It's what's her name? This lady here. What's her name? I forgot her name. I think it's Yellen. I think it's Yellen. So Yellen implemented his T-bills, which is like so you have different types of ways the system, the government can inject money into the markets, and this is one way that Yellen was doing. He's using the T-bills. Through the T-bills, they inject liquidity in the markets. And today, what they've done is they're not going to get rid of this, this thing that they implemented, which is for the T-bill party. So if this continues, it means there's still going to be more liquidity coming into the markets, which is obviously good for our altcoins. Because this is continuing, it means that 2025, we are still going to have a good year. So if this was to go, then it would cause a lot of problems. I don't think they're going to get rid of it anytime soon, because if they do, like I said, it would lead to a collapse. I think over maybe the next couple of years, they'll slowly implement it out. So this is a very, very good sign. We got the FTX repayment starting in approximately 5 to 6 days, which is 5 to 6 billion fresh liquidity being added to the markets, which is good, because those people that have lost money in the FTX crash, they will be getting some of that funds back, and obviously they are going to spend some of it in the markets, which will ultimately boost some of these altcoins that we hold. At the same time, we've also have the Fed right now, is the debt ceiling specifically has reached a maximum level, and Congress is going to at some point have to either increase it, which the very likely chance that they will, or they will have to default on the debt, which they're never going to do. So they are going to increase the debt ceiling. So I think it's 38 trillion now, or 36 trillion actually. They're going to have to increase that to maybe 45 or some shit, 50. We don't know at the moment. And what happens is, at the moment, the Fed is running on a $330 billion emergency printing. So they've printed 380, I think it's $338 billion, which at the moment they've already spent 60% of that. Meaning that once that dry powder runs out, once that 130 billion or whatever it works out to be runs out, what the Fed will have to do, or what the government will have to do, they'll have to tap into their reserves at the federal, in the Fed. So every government, where the US government has, a specific amount, like a stockpile that they keep at the Fed, which is obviously, sat idle. It's not into the markets, it's not injected in the markets, it's not part of the markets. They will have to go into that in order to actually fund the government before the next debt ceiling is reached. So what that means is you get, and I think it works out to be about $800 billion. So what you're going to get over the next couple of weeks is a lot of fresh liquidity being injected into the markets, because they're running at a pace where that 60% they've already used. There's only 40% left. At the pace they're running, in the next couple of weeks, they're going to run out of that 131 billion, and they're going to have to go into the PDA, which is basically PGA, sorry, which is the federal general account at the Fed. So this is the money that they've sat there for God knows how long. It's just sat idle there, and they use it for emergency times. And if they don't increase the debt ceiling, they're going to have to go into that, and that's going to be injected into the markets, and therefore all the assets are going to go higher, because the more money that comes into the markets, risk assets go up in value. Now, in terms of our projects, well, let's go actually. We got core inflation data coming out tomorrow. This is going to be the big decider on which way the market is going to go tomorrow. Obviously, if everything comes in as expected, So core CPI is predicted to come in at 3.1%, which is, better than what it was previously, which is 3.2. So if that does come in bullish, then it's very, very likely the market will rally. If inflation year over year stays at 2.2%, the market will also rally. So this is, make sure you guys keep an eye out on this, which is coming out 1:30 UK time. I don't know what time that works out for you guys. Keep your eyes on this because this is going to be the market decider for tomorrow, which, if we're going to continue to rally, or we might visit the low 90s again. Because at the moment, the chart is looking like Bitcoin wants to retest the low 90s one more time. Hopefully it holds, because once it holds, and my guess is at some point we are going to visit these levels one more time, but I think we'll have a V-shaped recovery, a quick bounce. I don't think we're going to go below, because if we go below, then it becomes dangerous. If let's say we go below 90k and then we wick back up, and then the 90k region is the resistant line, then it'd be wise to get into some cash, because then it could go down anywhere. It could even come down to this trend line again, 70s, 60s. So that's something to look out for. But like I said, it all depends in the short term on the inflation data tomorrow. If the inflation data comes in as expected, we're going to rally. And with the fresh liquidity being added to the markets, through the FTX, we're going to keep rallying. And with the PGA money coming into the markets, we're going to keep rallying again. So, if inflation data comes in tomorrow positive, it's very likely that we'll probably rally, in the next couple of months, I would say. Tech, good to see you, bro. Tech term getting worse each day. If you're talking about price action, I agree with you. Tech term is getting worse each day. It doesn't really pump and doesn't really dump. It's just holding that 2 region. If you're not bullish on it, just get rid of it, bro. That's the best advice I can give you. If you're not bullish on a project, then just get rid of it. Layer ones are dead anyways at the moment. But if you're not bullish and you want to put your money elsewhere, then it's better just to get rid of it, bro. Jobin, good to see you. Star, good to see you as well. Jason, good to see you, bro. SKR, good to see you, my friend. Great time to be in crypto. It's not a bad time to be in crypto, but if you're new to crypto and this is your first cycle, it's probably the worst time to be in crypto, bro. The best cycles were 2016, 2017 cycle, 2020, 2021 cycle. Those are the best cycles to be in. This cycle is very, very difficult for a lot of people. And that's because we're in a business cycle. And I've been saying this for over the last year. And if you guys noticed, all the normie influencers are now starting to talk about QT and QE. And that's all they know is QT and QE. That's all they know. They don't know nothing else. But this is something obviously we've been talking about for over a year now. D-Clan, good to see you, my friend. Soup, smash the like button. I agree with you, boys. Smash the like. Khalid, good to see you, buddy. How you doing? What's the wrong with TST is basically like the meme platform for the Binance chain. And what they done was they done like a test one. And because it was live, a lot of people, the degens, they FOMO'd into TST. And then it got listed on all the top exchanges. Binance listed it. And there's a lot of fuckery that happens with these with these meme coin stuff. Like, I guarantee you CZ definitely bought a bag of this, because otherwise he would have not listed it on Binance like a fucking meme coin that has nothing to do with them. But all they do is look for volume. That's it. Jamie, good to see you, bro. Cook, good to see you. Matt, good to see you, brother. Atif, good to see you. G-Man, good to see you. What do I think about Nuclei having such low trading volume? I'm not too worried about the trading volume, because at the peak, the volume was pretty decent. At the moment, the volume is terrible. And one of the reasons the volume is terrible is because it's only on 2 exchanges, and they're obviously tier 3 exchanges. So that is something to keep in mind. But at the same time, the AI sector in general is not doing the best. But obviously today it's up 10%, which is pretty good to see. And I do think they are going to get more exchange listings, because the money they put into the DAO, the 400 and something million tokens they burnt, they put that into the DAO, which will be used for token promotion and exchange listings. So they are going to get more exchange listings. I just don't really think it's the best time to do it now. I think any exchange listings, any project that does anything bullish at the moment will go unnoticed just because the market conditions are not correct. So you have to keep that in mind. A lot of people do scream for exchange listings, but exchange listings have to be done at the right time to see the maximum effect. Yes, Nuclei can get listed on another exchange. Yes, it might cause a 15, 20% pump, 30% pump in the short term. But guess what? It will dump the next day. In order to see, the full effect on an exchange listing, you need to do it during the narrative hype. So when AI becomes popular again, which at the moment it's not, then guess what? If you get an exchange listings, you stand out above most other projects and you will more likely pump. So, it's all about timing in crypto. And a smart team knows that. You get a lot of, newbies, retail coming into crypto, and all they say is get exchange listings when marketing. It's like, bro, the market conditions is not set for exchange listings or marketing. Nuclei can go pay 5 influencers tomorrow to do marketing and guarantee you won't pump because retail at the moment is shattered. They're not going to buy anything. What's your thoughts on AN log? It's 2 days old at discount price. It's launching on Kraken this week. Thank you for your time. So it's not launched at the moment, buddy. Let me just have a look. If it's not on here, then I can't really look into it. We can have a look. Let's just have a quick look into this project. Building blocks, vibrant multi-chain ecosystem. Effortless integrated possibility. Yeah, it's just another DeFi project, bro. I'm not a fan of DeFi projects at the moment. I don't see DeFi doing too well, but why is it partnered with Wintermute, sorry. Build, deploy your dApps. Yeah, so it's just another dApp project where you can obviously another DeFi project. There's quite a lot of these. It's very hard to find one that's going to stand out just because there's so many. You have, a lot of layer ones building dApps. You have all the, Susi, Super, all of these guys obviously developing dApps. So, my personal opinion, I would stay away from it. Khalid, I appreciate the 10 pound, my friend. Fuck QT, yeah, fuck QT, bro. QT is what's stopping us realistically, but it should come to an end at some point. Is it good to I wouldn't go 10% of your portfolio just because, like I said, the volume is quite low on Nuclei. I wouldn't recommend putting 10% just because it has low volume. And when it's time to sell, you're going to find it a bit difficult to sell 10%. Depending on your portfolio size, obviously, it's going to be quite hard for you to sell, without flooding your own bag. Because what people don't realize is if a token has low volume and you hold maybe 30, 40K and you want to sell after a 10X, for you to get out that 300K is going to be difficult because you sell 10K in one clip, the chart will come down this much in one clip. And guess what happens? Retail starts panicking, they start selling, and it leads to a chain reaction. And oftentimes, your 10x will go down to like fucking 4 or 5x in a split second, maybe in a couple hours. So, depending on your portfolio size, I don't recommend going too heavy in Nuclei, my friend. But it's one of those projects that people do underestimate because we don't really have many layer ones when it comes to AI. But we don't have any other project that I am aware of that is aiming to solve the data problem within AI. Nuclei is the only one that aims to solve that data problem. So, this is why it's unique. It's on Avalanche. Avalanche is dead at the moment. The chain for me does not matter. A lot of people are, they think the chain really matters. It does for volume, but in some circumstances it doesn't. For example, if you're on Solana, you launch a token on Solana, yes, it will pump initially, but guess what? The dump is just as brutal as the pump. Whereas something on Ethereum is less likely to dump as hard as coins on Solana, but something on Ethereum is not going to pump like Solana coins because all the volumes in Solana. So there's drawbacks and benefits of every chain. A lot of people are like, they don't like prop base because it's on Aptos, because they don't like Aptos. Well, does it really matter? In my eyes, it doesn't. If you look at the history of prop base, when it went, I think the lowest it went down to was like 1.6. From the lows to the highs, it pumped like 13 to 14x, 13 to 15x approximately. But if you got the lows, let's say, and it was always built on Aptos. So clearly, during the RWA season, prop base didn't care what chain it was on. It just rallied like the rest of the RWA coins. But guess what? It performed one of the best. And that's something to keep in mind. And that's while being on a dead chain. Aptos is dead, according to a lot of people, right? The chain doesn't matter, it's the narrative that matters. And if you look at RWA projects in general, look at how many of them actually tokenize something. The majority of them don't tokenize. They say they do this, they do that, but in reality, they don't do nothing. All the real estate ones, they don't tokenize much. Prop base has already tokenized 2 properties. Bricken has, tokenized hundreds of millions of dollars of assets. ATR tokenizes all the time. So you have to look at the projects in the RWA narrative and see which ones are actually doing something and which ones are just waffling. So, when it comes to prop base, I think it'll do very well. And the best thing about it is one of the exchanges, it's one of the RWA coins that actually has multiple exchanges. They've just got listed on xt.com, which is a pretty decent exchange, has good volume. So, and they're going to get a lot more exchanges. They're going to make the project deflationary. So they have a lot of bullish stuff on their roadmap. And a lot of people don't like it because it's on Aptos, but obviously it's also on base. But, the best thing about it is just it might not be on the most bullish chain, but it's on the most exchanges out of the lower cap RWA coins. Bricken's on only Mexi. ATR is only on Mexi. This on Mexi, Big Get, Bing X, Bitmart, whatever, XT, and some of these other shit ones at the bottom. So, there's drawbacks and benefits to all projects. But the chain doesn't matter too much. If you look at the chain, Polygon is dead, but Naka is one of the strongest holding gaming coins in the space. It just had the massive rally a couple of days ago. Literally almost on KuCoin, it went to $1.20 or 10 cents. On here, it only shows 84. But if you see that, go on KuCoin and check, Naka pumped like 3x in a space of, I don't know, like fucking half an hour or something. I don't know what happened. What's my thoughts on Parcel? Someone actually asked me this question. Let me just have a look at Parcel because it did get listed on Coinbase. And oftentimes, people don't realize this. And this is when I say, you can get the best exchange listing in the world. And guess what happens? It leads to nothing. So people were bullish on prop base. I think prop base is a good token, but the one thing I don't like about prop base is there's going to be a massive unlock at some point this year. I would say in the next couple of months, because 50% of the supply is held by early investors. So, if you got in here, it was fine if you sold up here because you made a little bit of money when it got listed on Coinbase. Oftentimes, when a project gets the tier 1, it will dump, 90% of the times afterwards. Cookie, I use this one quite a lot because this one got listed on Binance recently. And guess what happened? This was the Binance listing up here. From 46, it rallied to 59. Now it's sitting at 21. I was at 15 earlier. It's all about timing when it comes to exchange listings. And people don't realize this. They just, everyone screams, when new exchange listing, when they're going to get more listings. And people don't realize it just causes a short-term pump and dump. And, the exchanges, the tier 1s, they just fuck you up afterwards because they accumulate before they list them. And then they just rape the charts afterwards. So it doesn't really matter. Exchange this thing. Same things happen to Parcel. It's come down to where it was before he pumped. The 12 to 15 cent region. So that Coinbase listing did fuck all, but caused a short-term 30% pump. That's it. You guys have to understand when you scream, when new exchange listing, that it doesn't do shit. It's not the same anymore. Russ, good to see you, my brother. What about Tectum, bro? I'm still holding my Tectum. It's not doing the best, but I'm not going to sell at a loss. What the fuck is dumping again? Yeah, this I don't even know what to do with this one, bro. I'm just gonna hold because I'm down like 30-40% or some shit. But I do know the team has not abandoned the project. So because it's not abandoned, it's very unlikely that they're gonna rug it. They've just, they are still working, which is giving me some hope because their mainnet is live. They've expanded to multiple different countries, especially in Saudi because they got a partnership with some big guy in Saudi, one of the royal family. So they are working. They did win quite a few awards in Saudi, the best blockchain innovative award. So it's not a scam. It's not going to rug pull, but the price action is dead. That is you can't deny the price action. And a lot of layer ones are like this at the moment. I wouldn't add to my bag, but if you're down, I wouldn't also recommend selling because layer ones are an important part of crypto. But the thing is, there's too many layer ones now. Only a few will stand out. And I think Tectum has a unique aspect with the soft nodes that most other layer ones don't. And that's why I'll hold my bag because at some point it will pump. It will pump. But if personally, if you're down loads on this, I don't think it's gonna rock pull. So I wouldn't sell it. That's my opinion on it, bro. And Waffle Dasher. I'm not a fan of Dasher because Dasher has been around for too long. Am I using the correct mic? I am, yeah. Eddie, good to see you, bro. Connect my VPN one Minji. As go back to the first 10 minutes, I explained to you some bullish aspects. What's up, G? Everyone drop a like. One of the few that's still dropping knowledge during the garbage accumulation time. God knows. Damn, I hate QT. Yeah, I mean, you guys will have to understand how the market works. We are in a business cycle. I've been telling you guys we're in a business cycle for the past fucking year now. And you're hearing all the normies starting talking about it recently, the last couple of weeks. They've just learned now. It's too late to learn now, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a difficult cycle. But, throughout this year, we are going to have glimpse of alt season again, and if QT is still there, what I recommend you guys do is just trade until QT ends. Because when QT ends, the pump will be sustainable. At the moment, because we're still in QT, what tends to happen is the pumps never last. We pump aggressively, and then one bad comment from Powell or Trump or some bullshit, if Trump or Powell farts, the market shits the bed. So the best thing to do is play the traders game. When all our coins, you guys have witnessed it yourself. When the market got bullish, every single one of our coins pumped, which is a good sign because when the market gets bullish again, all of them are going to pump again. And guess what? The best thing to do now is look at your projects, see which ones are still developing. If they're still working and they're still developing, they're updating constantly. Those are the projects you don't need to be worried about because they're still here through the shit, market, and they're going to still be building. I can show you plenty of examples of the projects we hold that's still working. So, or today, they're partnered with L Bank, which is another exchange. So it's very likely that at some point, or will get listed on L Bank. I don't know. This is probably like a tier 3 exchange. It's not too bad. That's a good sign. And another good sign for all is they're having an AI Catalyst Lounge in Hong Kong. If you guys have not heard the news, in Hong Kong at the moment, crypto, Ethereum and Bitcoin is becoming legalized. You can actually use it to get into the country as a form of property, they said. So they've legalized crypto, they legalized Bitcoin and Ethereum. And alt is very big in Hong Kong. They partnered with one of the biggest deep in AI companies in China, in Hong Kong, worth billions of dollars. So they've got quite a big presence in Hong Kong, which I think is very bullish because once the Asia market catches on to alt, I think it will really do well. So there's over 200 entrepreneurs, and this is what is very important because what happens is you build connections. Let's talk about all the people that's actually there. So you have all the CEOs of alt. You have the CEO co-founder of AFA, Aether. Everyone knows Aether. You have the CEO and co-founder of IONET. You have the head of BNB chain there as well. You have the BD manager at Google Cloud, so APAC. So you have some very big people at this meeting that's been organized by tech. So the hosts are Aitech and FinTech and some of these other companies. So, it just goes to show how much connection that alt really has. And another good thing is they're going to announce a massive announcement. This is what the CEO said, Mike Robinson. I don't know if he's the CEO or one of the chairmen, but they have a massive announcement coming very soon for alt, which is very bullish. So that's something to look forward to. And, Sensei had an AMA today. I don't know how many people tuned in, but they had an AMA today. And I've made a note of all the bullish stuff they basically said in the AMA. So we'll go over what was said. And this is what, like I said, this is what you want. You want to see your projects building consistently. So Sensei revealed the new roadmap. So they've developed a new website and they showed like parts of the new website and it looked very good. So that's good to see. They've got a new website and they're building real agents now that develop on their own. So, you have replicas that are just database. So obviously you have, and Sensei actually had a good point, but you have these agents or replicas that the more you interact with it, the better it becomes. But now what's happening is these replicas are going to develop on their own. They're going to start, let's say they're going to become more like you without you having to interact with it, which I think is massive. Because if let's say you tweet something or you post something, your replica will pick up what you say and it will start to act like you more without you having to, interact with it every single day. That's what AI agents are meant to be. They're supposed to develop on their own. And that's what they're building, which I think is massive. They're also going to be integrating NPCs in games, which is going to branch into the AI gaming narrative, because with these replicas, you can easily implement them in games instead of having like a NPC that just like a computer based. The NPCs will have their own personality that will continue to develop over time and become like real life characters. So that's a good, the good addition. They're working with enterprises like Google, Linear, Slack, Notion, which is going to be good. Forming partnership with big enterprises is massive. They have 2 new AI tools. Replicas will basically be good enough to, to basically do interviews on their own. They've made the replica creation more user friendly and now has hallucination checkers. So which is basically like you have like confidence. So if you go look at AI XBT, he'll say something. So let's say you ask it to do TA on a coin, he'll give you like a 30% confidence, 70% confidence. So that's what Sensei has implemented. And they've also added, other stuff like website links or where they got the information from, which is quite good. They have a Telegram app coming soon. And they're also going to be adding the Sensei token as a form of payment to add token utility. And they're also going to have hackathons for developers. So, it gives developers an incentive to make the replicas and Sensei's technology a lot better. So the best way to do is, do hackathons where you offer people money to build something. And that's, a lot of bullish news coming for Sensei. And I think he also talked about exchange listings. They are actively looking for exchange listings. They said there's a few things they need to change, but these, they want to get tier 2 exchanges. They don't want to just get another big get, another Mexi. I mean, another gate, another tier 3 basically. The aim is to get the tier 2s, the KuCoins, the Bybits, the OKXs. That's what they're aiming for. And for them to reach there, there's a few requirements they have to do, which this, Dan said that they're working on at the moment as well. That's what they're working on. What's the opinion about Reform DAO coin? Never heard of it, bro. I'll do some coin reviews in a bit. Ask it down below. Rana, good to see you. Agri, good to see you. Azim, good to see you. So no Q in 2025, most likely not, my friend. I think inflation rates over here could potentially come in lower than 2.9% because of lower oil. I mean, inflation will go lower, but CPI will most likely go down just because oil at the moment is very low, which is quite surprising. But this is what Trump has managed to do. He's managed to bring the oil market slightly lower than what most people was predicting it to be, because oil was rallying, which at the moment it looks like it's holding strong. Where the fuck did oil go? Did I just add it in? Oil has come down. It was actually rallying up, which was one of the reasons inflation was going up. Because it's down now, there's, like Singh said, there's a chance it could come in low, it come in lower. Now, rent prices, I don't know if rent prices have come down though, but mortgage rates have gone up slightly. What about not quantum bond on Sol? I'm not looking at no Solana coins, bro, because they're all just gonna be fucking pump and dumps. Not. Quantum bond. I think quantum could be a narrative this cycle, I'll be honest. Master P, good to see you, my friend. Am I bullish on RWA? I'm not bullish on RWA Inc. No, and one of the reasons I'm not bullish on it is just because of the unlocks. I'm not favorable with the unlocks with RWA Inc. It looks like a good project, and a lot of people do shit it. And because it's on base, people tend to like that. But if you look at a vesting schedule for this project, I'm not a fan of this vesting schedule, bro. Just look at the amount of unlocks that's happening consistently. I'm just not a fan of this. You have a lot of percentage held by the team and early investors, and they're getting their tokens every single day. So, unless there's constant buy pressure, at some point the sell pressure will outweigh the buy pressure, and this token's just going to continuously go lower. They're just bare RWA coins. Like, why would you buy this when you can buy Bricken, which has most of the dilution already in circulation? Why would you not buy ATR, which is fully diluted and one of the only art projects in the space, and it's on Solana? It's the only RWA coin on Solana. Or you can buy Prop Base, which is, sitting at $13 million in market cap, very established, already tokenized through properties. Just, they've partnered with some big companies as well in Bangkok, in Thailand. I just don't know why you would buy it. And, most of the early investors are out of this token as well. And they are going to make it deflationary at some point this year, the next couple of months. I just don't get why you would go buy RWA Inc., which has really bad vesting schedule, over all the tokens that's already existing, has good vesting schedule, mostly diluted, and you don't have to worried about a lot of people dumping on you. What's the possibility that we're wrecked with the altcoins? We don't get any. My friend, the market does not work in a way where there's going to be no pumps, because if there's never going to be pumps, guess what happens? People go, and the market makers don't have exit liquidity. They need exit liquidity. So what they do is they'll give you hope, they'll give you pumps throughout. All you have to do is take advantage of those. A lot of people, what they do is they sell when everything's at the lows, and then they FOMO back in when everything's rallying again. And then, 2 days later, everything dumps again. That's what tends to happen to people. They get scared when it's red. They don't buy. When it turns green, they get positive and they think it's going to keep rallying. And in the end, an hour later, a couple of days later, it just goes back down again. And you get wrecked again because you sell the lows. When it pumps, you could have sold 20, 30% higher. You could have had 20, 30% more money. And then you FOMO in, and then you get wrecked the second time. You have to keep that in mind. There's always going to be rallies. There's rallies all throughout. We had much higher interest rates back in 2023, much higher, 5.5% interest rates. And we still rallied for 6 months. We have lower interest rates now. We have a pro-crypto government. We have a lot of regulatory clarity coming soon. Countries are adopting crypto. We're in a much better situation than we was in 2023. Yet retail is not here at the moment. There is retail, but it's just gambling on meme coins. But even the meme coin shit, people are starting to realize is a scam, because you have someone done the math, right? There's 50-something thousand coins dropping every single day, and only 1 or 2 actually does well. So for you to have, a chance of winning anything, you literally have a better chance of winning the lottery than getting that one or two meme coin that actually does well on Pump Fun. So you have to keep that in mind. These meme coins are just scam. It's a scam narrative, because you hear someone on Twitter say, "Oh, this guy turned $30, $10 into 2 million." Well, that's because that's an insider. He sniped the contract, and that token done well. That's very rare. You get those once a month, and people think it's a normal thing. But in reality, you can never turn $10 into a few million unless you're an insider and you've sniped the contract before it got listed. This is how the meme coin works. Meme coin game works. You have fucking Murad, the clown, telling you to buy all his meme coins at the top. They're all down to shits. Now this one might recover because it's the main one on his list. A lot of the other ones are never going to recover again, because the meme coin thing is not utility. They're not consistently developing. They're just posting the same shit on Twitter every single day. They got the picture of the logo next to a new cartoon character, anime character, a car driving. Bro, it's like everyone does that. So it's not like they're solving any problems. They're just posting random shit that's just not even funny. And the people that's held the token, they just repost it. But the thing with the meme narrative is it moves on with trends. There's a new trend every day. That meme coin does well. There's going to be a new trend tomorrow, and all the existing coins that once was a 1 billion, 2 billion, $500 million of market cap will just slowly die. Only a few will do well. For example, people are starting to get bullish on PopCap, right? Because there's going to have a Coinbase listing. I've just showed you guys what happens to these projects after they get a Coinbase listing. That's the end. If you're buying this now in anticipation for the Coinbase listing, you've already lost, because this was a pump from 21 to 30 was the news of the Coinbase listing. The announcement, when it does get listed, guess what happens? It's just going to fucking die, because those guys are going to rape the charts. That's what happens. So, don't jump onto the bandwagon of when it gets listed on Coinbase, because that's the end line for these meme coins. Look how many meme coins everyone was bullish on that got listed on the tier ones. They're all dead now. What happened to what's that fucking shit called, bro? Chill Guy, that one. Everyone thought this was going to be the next big thing. Went to Billy, sitting at 30 million now. These are all going to die. Look at the chart. This is what happens. Pump, get listed on all the tier ones, and just dies away. Can I check DEAI? It's dumping even more today. I thought DEAI pumped. They did not pump. Yeah, it looks like I wouldn't be surprised if this shit rug pulls. I wouldn't be surprised, just because of how much FUD has been around this token. And oftentimes, I'm pretty sure the team has made ridiculous amounts of money on this. I don't know if they're going to still work. This is why you pick quality projects. Like Alt is going to be around for multiple cycles. They're going to still be building, and I think at some point it will be a blue chip AI coin, just because of what they're building and the amount of connections they have. You're not going to see DEAI with a team that has a scammy background be a blue chip. You're not going to see it. But look at the coins that's worth DCA, or is a very good DCA today, because they have massive announcement coming up. So it's worth buying a bag at these prices, $20 million in market cap. And one of the best things I like about this project is the nodes grow every single day. Consistent growth in the project. It's at 72,000 now. Just a few days ago, it was like 62, 63K. Now it's at 72. The nodes are growing, 60% catered to miners. So the more nodes the miners get, the better it is for the project. It's very, overall, it's a very good project. Like, I don't care about short-term price action on this project. Yes, it has come down with the rest of the market. Can't deny it. It has come down from 14 cents. It's down 50%. It's just over 50%. But then everything dumped that much. But it's still developing. That's all that matters. If your project stopped developing now and they're posting random bullshit, I would be very nervous. Very nervous. Funny how DCI is the same market cap as Munity. What's Munity's market cap? I think Munity is probably like what, fucking 200-300k market cap now. Down a lot. DCI has rug pulled, by the way, for those guys that don't know. This has officially rug pulled. They've deleted their Twitter. And this is one of the tokens I told you guys is a rug pull. And no one wanted to listen to me. I haven't deleted their Twitter. But guess what? The last time they posted was 10th of December 2024. It's a rug pull. I told you, be careful. And this is a lesson that people have to learn the hard way. I said it very clearly. Be careful of projects that come out during the narrative hype with 100% in circulation. You know, be very careful with them, those, because they're here for the short term to make quick money and bounce. And I said the exact same thing with the AI agents. Look how many AI agents have just gone and disappeared now. A lot of them, thousands of them have disappeared with nothing to show for it because there's no docs team behind them, no one to hold reliable. Look at Sensei. Sensei is still developing and still working. They're a legit business. They're trying to build something for the future. That's the type of projects you guys need to buy to save you guys the headache from getting rug pulled. ETH is cocking everyone. ETH is indeed fucking everyone. Bro, it's all manipulation, bro. Those fucking institutions shorted the shit out of ETH in December. They shorted the shit out of ETH up here. You know, when it was up here in December, when everything was rallying, these motherfuckers were shorting the shit out of ETH from here. And now look what's happened. But you know, people look at the ETH chart. In the grand scheme of things, is a bullish chart. It's in this, you know, uptrend. Eventually it'll bounce again. Maybe it'll consolidate here and it'll bounce again. And I think this time it will break the 4K region. The next pump will break the 4K region, and then we'll probably have dominance coming down slightly as well. You know, Bitcoin's on a fucking tear right now, going down. But dominance it dropped to 61%. It has gone up slightly now because Bitcoin is dumping. I think USDT dominance has probably gone up significantly now. Yep. Let's see what happens. I don't even know why the market is dumping, to be honest. Well, maybe they already know the inflation numbers tomorrow. Let's see. DIA. It's old token, my friend. Old token. Pretty sure it's a DeFi project, by the sound of it. Harness the world's first Oracle rollup. Okay. I don't mind an Oracle project. I think oracles are needed in crypto. So it's not a bad project, my friend. As long as the team's still working, I think oracles will stay around for a decent amount of time. But would I buy this project? Personally, wouldn't. I don't think it's going to give you much money. Matrix 1 is an AI agent backed by a medical brand. Price is dumping and dumping. What is your thoughts about this coin? Yeah, Matrix 1, they did some dodgy stuff at the start. And I remember because I was looking at this before it launched. And they done some dodgy things. And what happened was that the community kind of gave up on this project. And from there, like you see this, they done some shit. I don't know what the fuck they done. I can't remember. But it just dumped non-stop. And then obviously it started rallying a little bit again because obviously it kind of catered to that AI agent narrative, and then dumped again. And one of the main reasons this happened was mainly because of a dodgy team. The dodgy teams, when the market is uncertain, is the worst thing in the world, because people, you know, if you're holding a token and you know you starting seeing some suspicious activity from the team, what do you think you're going to do? You're going to sell. It's only smart to sell. And that's what happened with this project. They haven't posted in a long time. Microsoft startup founder has backed us 50K Azure tokens. Fuck off. That's the last time they posted on 28th. We're now 11th of February. So clearly there's a lack of engagement as well. So I would be careful holding this token, bro. It tries to do what Sensei does, but you'd rather just buy Sensei, to be honest. At what point would you worry that alt's not pumping? March, April? It doesn't. The time frame doesn't matter. You guys are using previous cycle time frames. It does not relate to this cycle. This cycle is a business cycle. It doesn't matter if we're in QE. I mean, if we're in the halving year, post halving year, whatever the narrative is, it doesn't matter. It all depends on monetary policy now. That's all it matters on. And it looks like QT will stop at some point this year. It will. The Fed cannot go into the bank reserves. They're getting very close to the 10 to 11% range, which is where they probably most likely will hold QT. And maybe at some point they'll keep taking back assets of the balance sheet again at some point. But they have to stop, because if once they tap into the bank reserves, it becomes an issue for the economy. And I don't think the Fed wants to break the economy. It's getting close to there. One of the Fed was actually talking about this in one of his speeches, that they are thinking about the bank reserves. They don't want to tap into it. But like I said, Trump will find other ways to inject money into the system. T-bills is one of them that Yellen was doing. The private sector, derelegating the banks is another way that you can inject money into the system. Because if you derelegate the banks will give money to the private sector. And guess what? The private sector, that money that gets printed will go into the markets, of course, and the private sector will boost the economy. So there's other ways to inject money in the economy apart from just QE. The more money that's in the economy, the higher the risk as it goes. But with Doge cutting out so much government spending, is gonna at some point is going to force the Fed to come to the rescue. Because what happens is, if Doge is cutting government spending, what you get is a case of GDP going down. You get a case of low liquidity in the markets, because there's less money being printed that's going into the system, which means there's going to be less liquidity, which means GDP is going to go down. And if GDP goes down, you get the risk of a recession. And the best way to tackle this is what Trump was saying, through credit creation. You can do this through the private sector and derelegating the banks. So then you get a case of the government cutting spending, but the private sector, evening it out. So it's like a battle between both. If they cut too much government spending and the private sector is not acting, then you can get a caustic collapse. And when that collapse happens, what will happen is the Fed will have to come to the rescue, because Trump GDP becomes, if GDP goes down, people get nervous, because that's what a recession is, when you get consistent negative GDPs. And if the economy and the stock market starts doing really bad, the Fed will have to come to the rescue. So there's what they're doing is quite, I think it's quite ballsy, but it's like playing with fire. What Trump is doing with Doge, is playing with fire. There's a lot of benefits to what they're doing with Doge, because they're cutting unnecessary spending, but you have to provide enough from the private sector to back up the cut in government spending. So let's see how it plays out. But I do think at some point we will experience pumps again. You can't go an entire year without pumps, because the market just gets dead. No one's making money, and these guys love exit liquidity. They need you guys for exit liquidity. So we will see some pumps again, my friend. Do not worry. All you have to do is just zoom out and see all the accumulation that's happening in the markets from the bigger players, and just be patient. Like, patient should be the biggest thing in crypto this cycle. If you are going to learn patience the hard way, if you don't have patience and you're playing with rent money, this is not the cycle to be playing with rent money, in my opinion. This is not, it's not going to, yes, at this point in the cycle, we're supposed to pump, but we're in a business cycle, it's different. You don't know what's going to happen. We've got a new president who's uncertain. You have to be patient this year. You have to. I love to see fear. What's your opinion on the new SFI and what price? Yeah, so SFI is one of those projects that I held, because, I still hold now. And the reason I hold it is because if you look at the RWA narrative, there's not a lot of AI RWA coins, and this is the only one apart from Pink Link, but that's obviously tokenizing deep in, but it's terrible. No docs team, nothing. It's just being pumped by Alex Becker. But when you look at Singularity Finance, what it aims to do is it is tokenizing AI economy and deep in as well. So they're obviously a layer two, EVM compatible layer two that brings AI economy on chain. It offers compliant RWA tokenization framework to tokenize AI compute and monetize AI agents, which is a pretty good narrative. And then you look at the team, you got Ben Goertzel, which is an AI genius. He's the CEO of what's that shit called? AGIX, part of ASI. So they have quite a massive team. You got the wherever this guy is from fucking Southkey. You got the woman from CGV team, which they do the tokenizing, they do the AI side. So they have a pretty capable team. And the concept is bullish as well. And this is a token that I will be holding on to because they are going to, they're going to do some DeFi stuff. They're going to do some AI stuff, AI finance, which is basically like DeFi AI. So they have quite a lot of bullish aspects, and because it's so unique in the space, I do think at some point it will do well, and it is compliant as well, which is good to see. With the connections these guys have with Ben Goertzel, I would not be surprised if we see this on some tier one exchanges at some point. But would I buy it now? I probably would not buy it now. No, I'll wait for it to dip a little bit more, to be honest. Miffy, good to see you, my friend. What's your favorite projects to DCA right now? Sensei or Bricken? So the ones I'm DCAing personally, you don't have to obviously follow me, but I'm DCAing all because if the announcement's bullish, then it's very likely it'll pump. I'm DCAing some prop base because I do believe tokenization will be one of the biggest narratives of the cycle. And for that reason, I am going to buy some prop base and I'm going to DCA. I'm not going to buy bulk buy because it's stupid to bulk buy in this current market situation. So just slowly DCA. I'm buying. I was going to buy some Sensei, but I have enough Sensei, and I could potentially buy a bit more, but with the bullish stuff they have planned today, I think overall Sensei will do well in my opinion. I'm also buying some Nai. I bought some Nai. I wouldn't buy it now though because obviously it's pumped. But I was buying some Nai. Why's the market dumping so much today, bro? Fucking hell. But I'm accumulating some Nai, some Aut. I'm not gonna buy some Sensei, but I am buying some prop base. I'm not gonna buy Bricken yet because there's an unlock for Bricken on the 27th of this month. So I will potentially buy some Bricken afterwards. And I'm going to buy some ATR, maybe somewhere around down these regions. Maybe the 1.5, maybe 1.4, 1.5 region. Let's see. I think I'll probably buy at this support line here. Yeah, around the 1.5, 1.6 regions. I'll probably buy a bit more here. But at the moment, I'm focusing on alt prop base and a bit of nuclei. Because I think those are the ones that's undervalued at the moment. But I'm doing small DCAs though. I'm not buying large amounts. Like, I'm doing like a few hundred here, a few hundred there, 50 here, 100 there. That's what I do. That's how I taught my group to DCA. Because people that bulk buy, and a lot of people do this, you bulk buy at one price. Let's say you have 2K and let's say you bought this at down here 6.6. If you had 2K, what I would do is I would start off with like $300 here. I would wait a little bit because your first bag should be a small bag. That's how I always DCA. My first bag is always small just because of all the uncertainty in the market at the moment. The only time you buy 100% in straight away is if we are in a bull run. If you are still in QT in a bear market, you DCA slowly is common sense. You buy 300 here, then you wait like another 10, 20, 30% drop. Then you buy another 300 here, and then you look at all the major supports. So the major support for this is already at major support now. It's at major support now. So then now it makes sense to buy more, to buy a bit heavier here, because it was at this level for like 2 months. Clearly, people are happy to hold their tokens here for a few months, and it's bounced off the same support again. That's a good sign. It means the previous people that held the tokens, they're not willing to sell, but new people are looking to accumulate. So this is how I DCA. I don't bulk buy at one price, because what happens when it goes 50% down? I got no money to buy. Small DCAs is what you have to do at the moment. There's no rush. Nothing is going to happen tomorrow or the next day. Yes, we might have little rallies here and there, but they all could fade away in a week's time. In one fucking day, when Powell spoke about less rate cuts, all the gains we had, just most of it got given away in one day. That's how quick the market can fuck you in QT. So there's no rush for you guys. Just DCA accordingly and slowly. Southflex, my friend, good to see you, buddy. Mugen, good to see you as well. What's a good bag of sense? It depends. Because I think, once it's going to be one of those projects that's going to be around for at least another cycle, in my opinion, because they're building a legit business. They have, like, Sensei has a lot of employees, a lot, like I think over 30 employees, which means the amount of development they can do is going to be sped up. They're already, hiring new developers. They're giving out hackathons for people to come out with new ideas with their replicas, which is bullish. Telcom is trying to get banking in Nebraska. That's cool. That's quite good, I think. You put a question mark. I don't know, bro. I don't follow it, to be honest with you. Julian, good to see you, buddy. How you doing? Any thoughts on Hive Intelligence? Hive, are you talking about Hive AI on Solana? I think it has a good use case. It's a DeFi AI project. Oh, this one right here. Okay, I thought you were talking about Buzz. It's a different project. That's the Hive AI is the one that won the Solana hackathon. So they're probably backed by the Solana. To connect your AI agents to blockchain data. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this shit, bro. Not a fan of this shit. Just, this just looks like it came out during the narrative hype, and that's it. Like, if your project don't have a working product, don't fucking hold it, bro. And they don't have a docs team. Like, you guys should not be buying any coins without a docs team in this stage in the cycle. You shouldn't, because it will fuck you. Meme coin super cycle incoming. Yeah, I'm sure meme coin super cycle. All the top meme coins are down to shits. Fucking Vitardio. This was one of the top meme coins at one point. It's down to 3 cents again. It's a meme coin super cycle, they say. Fucking, was the Giga Chat is one of the biggest ones. It's down. It's down like 50%. SPX is down more than 50%. So I don't really see a meme coin super cycle coming, my friend. I think people have understood the game of meme coins now, that it's all insider and is mostly luck. It's literally all insider and luck. You're not going to make no money unless some celebrity makes a meme coin and you was awake at that time to buy it, one of the first people to buy it. That's the only way you make your money. Like the fucking DaBaby, the rapper, made a meme coin 2 days ago and his rug pulled literally within 2 hours. This is the state of the trenches these days. So it's quite sad to see, but it's just part of the cycle at the moment. It's part of the cycle. But who are the market makers? The market makers are the fucking people with the millions and the hundreds of millions. Those are the market makers. Alex, good to see you, buddy. Best live on YouTube, only 50 likes. Blows my mind. Hit the likes. Boys, hit the likes. How the fuck are we only on 50 likes? That's crazy, bro. But there's 100 people watching. Why can we not just get to 100 likes? It takes 1 second to like. I would appreciate it loads. Bro, there's like 50,000 coins launching on Pom Fund, bro. How are you going to find the one, bro? It's just pointless. So basically, you play is don't hold like 2017, but trade the cycle out. No, my play at the moment is just to see what happens in the next couple of months. And if QT continues, then you have to kind of trade it out, unless there's a catalyst for the pump. So people say you can't have an alt season without QE. But then clearly, 2023 to early 2024, we had an alt season. That was like an alt season, even though it was a massive alt season. It was still a very good alt season, and that was still in QT, higher rates than what we have now. And I think it was higher inflation as well at that point. So you have to take that in consideration. It all depends on if QT continues in the next couple of months. And if there's no catalyst for the pump, if it's just a random pump, then I will sell. But let's say we get like a Bitcoin reserve or something, it gets confirmed, then I wouldn't sell, because that that reserve news is like the ETF news. It could rally for a very long time. The market right now is in fear. It will get to greed again at some point. It always happens. You have to keep people in the game, and for that to happen, you have to give them chances where the market pumps. The market makers have to do it. They always do it, because if it was just consistent downtrend forever, guess what happens? People just sell the tokens, they move away, and these market makers have no exit liquidity. They need retail for exit liquidity, so they bring retail in by pumping the markets. That's just how it works. Interesting news on alt and Hong Kong. Yeah, so I don't know what the company was called, but I shared it on YouTube quite a while back. Is a company worth billions. They've partnered with some big companies in Hong Kong, Apple, Toyota, all the big companies they partnered with, and it's worth billions. And that's who they've partnered with for their data hub. And they've partnered with Shanghai Exchange, which is basically the biggest one in Hong Kong, which is quite massive. They partner with them as well for the data hub. So, they're doing a lot of work. And that fucking Max Lee guy has a lot of connections in Hong Kong, it seems. Naka and Corpo. Naka Corpo goodbyes in long term. I would say Naka is, but I'm not really interested on gaming at the moment, I'll be honest with you. I'm not interested in gaming. Just because I think gaming will always come back. I think gaming has a future in crypto because it's one of the ways the tokens can actually be utilized. So I think gaming has a future, and at some point it will pump. At the moment, my base case is not to be focused on gaming, just because there's no catalyst for gaming to pump in the short term. There's catalyst for AI and there's catalyst for RWA. So I'd rather hold those over gaming. But then again, you look at Naka and he just pumps like 3x in one day. You just think like, it's random. But both of those are good projects. What's my thoughts on Swift? I'm not looking at all three, but you're shilling too many tokens. Let's be honest, everything is dead right now and just meme coins. Even Aitech doing bullish news and hasn't moved anywhere. Yeah, so one of the main reasons Aitech has not moved, even though they're consistently blasting bullish news back to back to back, and I'll have to explain this to people every time, is because of the vesting schedule. That's it. There's nothing else. If Aitech's vesting schedule, was how it would be next month, it would have already been pumping on the back of all this bullish news. The after February, so just 20 more days, the unlocks go from 126k. I don't know why the fuck this keeps changing, but anyways, it goes from 126k daily unlocks, which is quite a lot, right? So you have daily with the team. The team has actually locked up their tokens for a little bit longer, so give or take probably less than what it is now. But in a few days, the unlocks go from 100k, fuck is much, down to 38k, let's say 30k, maybe 28k, maybe 25k, just because the team tokens, like I said, is locked for another year. So then you get, a massive decrease, 3-4x decrease in unlocks daily. And guess what happens? The selling pressure reduces. So you got the team, which no longer getting their tokens. So cancel this out, cancel 200 and something K tokens daily for the next year. So you don't have to worry about the team. You have the advisors getting their tokens, which is only 50k. You got the seed guys. These are the only guys that can really sell and cause harm to the price action. The marketing guys are not always going to sell, but it's only 140k tokens, 70k tokens, which is fuck all. When you look at the trading volume for Aitech, it's like 5-6 million. And they're quite close to Binance. I do see this gain on Binance very soon, 5 million. So it's good to see that, right? So once the unlocks massively reduce, then what you get is you get more buying pressure coming in and selling pressure going down. And over time, because it's deflationary, the price will go up automatically. They've already burnt like 10 million tokens. It's good to see. And once the data hub is live and the marketplace is live, it will burn a lot faster. It has a dual deflationary system, which means they have multiple ways of burning the token, which over time will appreciate the price. So yes, the last year for AI tech has been shitty. I'd admit it. But moving forward now is going to do better because the unlocks massively reduced. There used to be like 2 to 300k or 200k daily unlocks at one point, and that's what kept the price suppressed for like fucking 2-3 years. Well, for a whole year and a half now, a year and 2 months. Throughout the 2024 pump, all throughout 2024, it was just having consistent unlocks, and because these early investors were up on the investment, they were farming the shit out of this token. So now that they can't farm anymore because their token allocations are done, guess what happens? There's less selling pressure and the token will go up eventually. So I am very bullish on AI tech moving forward in the next 20 days. Just hold out for the next 20 days. It seems to be holding incredibly well because what's going to happen now is all the people that's getting their tokens now, they're not going to sell. They're going to hold their tokens for the future because they've been farming this for the whole year. So any other tokens they're getting now, they're just going to hold it for the future. That's what happens in the last month. That's why, this price, even though the market keeps dumping, it doesn't go anywhere. It's how this region, since the start of February, when the market was going down. So, you're not going to see much downward price action for AI tech for too long. It's very good to see that. That's, I have to explain this every other stream just because, I don't know, maybe people just don't fucking don't listen. But what do I think about Sharp AI? Sharp AI is one of those tokens, Eddie, that you use rather than invest into. Like, I don't see the incentive of investing into Sharp AI because there's no token utility. You don't need to hold the token to use the platform. It's like, why do you need to invest in PancakeSwap and Uniswap when you can just use it? You don't get no benefits of holding the token, so why hold it? It's not like DEX is pump anyways. It's just worthless. That's the same thing with Sharp AI. Sharp AI, DexCheck. DexCheck at least has the launchpad. If Sharp AI has the launchpad, then obviously there's some incentive there. But, these are very good platforms to use rather than invest into. That's how I do it. What inflation numbers do we expect to see? The inflation numbers, my friend, are the forecast is 3.1% core and 2.9% inflation year over year. The rest of it don't matter. Month over month, no one gives a shit about. The most important ones are core and CPI. Those are the ones that Fed cares about the most. Only 60 likes. Fucking hell, boy. That's so sad to see. But smash the like button, please. I would appreciate that lots. It feels good to see you, brother. Will wake up dominance drop a brick? I hope so. Yeah, if you like, I'll make dominance drop. You have to like the stream for that to happen. BVM 0.09. I don't give a shit about BVM, bro. Like, honestly, BVM is one of those tokens. Oh shit, I put 0.09. It's like the narrative is dead. So it's just going to continuously go down. It's 2 million market cap. Fucking hell. If the narrative was ever to come back, I think BVM could go on to these stupid numbers, in my opinion. But, I traded this. It was just a trade for me. I got in around these regions, sold around up here. It wasn't a massive bag. I just did a nice, very trade. Sold it because I don't like the BRC20 narrative too much. Not a fan of it. I just don't see the need of building up Bitcoin shit. We have all these layer ones that's 100 times better than Bitcoin in terms of building on them. Why do we need to build on Bitcoin? I don't see the incentive. So, I'm not a fan of this token. I'm not a fan of the narrative. The token's fine. It's still working. But, when you look at the narrative matters more than individual projects. BF, good to see you, bro. Yeah, I know people who play with rent money. They sold everything on the summer drop, dump, and never bought again. That's what happens when you're playing rent money. you make stupid decisions, you make rash decisions. Like, no one should invest in crypto what they can afford to lose, because if you have the mindset that I'm just going to have this in crypto, I'm going to leave it there, for a period of time, I'm going to be doing trades here and there to make money, which is, a smart thing to do. But in reality, you should only be doing would play with money that you don't mind holding for like a year or something, maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years. That's how you should invest into crypto, because it's volatile. You cannot come into crypto, put your life savings in there, and expect to get, for it not to go down 50% 1 week, 1 month, and then back up 30-40% the next month. So, it's just, you become emotional. And then when it goes up, you become too greedy, so you don't sell, because you see a lot of money in a short period of time. It's not a good game to play. That's why you have to play with money that you don't mind holding on to for a while. That's the best way to play the crypto game. And that makes you less emotional than someone who's playing with red money, because they need everything to happen quick. And if it don't happen, they start calling projects a scam. That's what happened. I guarantee you, if you go on CoinMarketCap now, go to the comment section of some of these projects that's dropped, there's always a few idiots that say, yeah, is dumping is a scam. So what the fuck are you on about, bro? You retarded. The whole market drops. And you see a lot of retail that came in, bought in, they got raped at the top, and now they call every project a scam. It's just stupid, people. Would you DCA more aggressively on Mavia now that unlock has 2 plagues? No, I would not DCA massively on Mavia. Mavia is not going anywhere, bro. The gaming narrative is dead. So why would you DCA Mavia aggressively? It does not make sense. Mavia, I'll DCA slowly, because seed is 20, and it could very well go back down to 20. It could. But, going below 20 is very unlikely. It could happen, but it would only happen if Bitcoin obviously wicks down aggressively. But in terms of, most of the time, gaming projects, you want to buy them at or near seed prices to get the best advantage, because when, let's say, the unlock does happen, those seed guys are not going to dump at a loss, and they might dump at break even, but even then, it doesn't matter, because you got in at the same price as them, and seed is 20 cents. It's currently at 29. So maybe when it goes back down to like 20-ish, maybe you could buy a bit heavier there. But at the moment, I wouldn't, because they're still up 50%. Imagine Mavia going to $50. $50 would be nice. That would be fucking nice. Is it going to happen? We don't know, bro. It's impossible to know. Greek. Appreciate that, bro. In 2023, October, 2024, March, all season didn't have any BTC dominance breakout like comparison to 2017. We need to see BTC breakout towards the 40%. Would be crazy all season. I do agree, because in that early 2023, 2024 pump, it was a lot of the USDT dominance that was dropping. So all the people that were sidelined because they thought we're going to continue the bear market, they all FOMO'd in, which caused all the altcoins to pump. But now dominance only went down like 5%. So that's if you get to the low 40s, that's when you start seeing the crazy old season, bro. Just look what happened when dominance dropped from 61 to like fucking 55%. What happened was AI agents all pumped aggressively. But right now it's all about liquidity wars. Like, every narrative is fighting for liquidity. At the moment, the liquidity is spread thin across meme coin, AI coins, maybe some RWA coins, but that's it. Well, most of the action is happening on meme coins. But people keep saying meme super cycle. No. If you make 50,000 utility coins a day, of course, if 1 or 2 is going to blow up, it only makes sense. When you make 50,000 meme coins a day, of course, 1 or 2 is going to blow up. Just basic maths, like basic, if you just spam everything, spam 50,000 on one thing, one of them is going to do well. So, it's not really a meme super cycle, because a meme super cycle means all the existing meme coins that everyone knows about would be doing well. But in reality, most of them are just dying slowly. It's a slow death. And all the people, because it's retail pushing these meme coins, not institutions, they're not smart investors, it's retards. Retards see a meme coin going down, they're going to sell. Another retard will come buy off him. And then that retard will sell when his price goes down. So then another retard comes and buys, and he's going to sell because he starts panicking. It's just like it's retards buying and selling off each other. And then eventually what happens is when all these guys lose hope, you just continue to dump. And then you might get a whale who, you know what, he's had enough. He's made good money on it and he's just going to cash out. And from one whale dumping and causing a massive red candle, what happens is everyone starts panicking and you cause a chain reaction. That's what happens when these meme coins. So you have to be very careful not to cause that chain reaction, because not only are you flooding your own bag, unless you're selling everything, then you don't give a shit anyways. But one red candle on these meme coins, let's say a meme coin goes down 10, 15% in one candle, everyone starts panicking and starts selling it. And then they go on post, is a scam, is a scam, is a scam. And then the other retail guy goes on CoinMarketCap, reads it's a scam. Oh, it's a scam, so I have to sell it. He starts selling it. This is just how the market works with meme coins. It's just like retail are after each other. Like the people are just, it's just retail dumping on each other pretty much. Beam, I'm still bullish on Beam. Yes, I think Beam will do well. It has dumped quite a lot, and it's quite expected. But it's half a billion market cap, which is crazy. I didn't think we're ever going to see this, but this is by far the best gaming project. Apart from Ronin, this is by far the best gaming project. So what I would do is, if you are bullish on gaming and you want a high cap gaming project, I would say Beam is the best one. I'm still bullish on OTK. Yes, OTK got 2 big major partnerships coming soon, so they are still developing. And all I care about now, when the markets are dead, the only thing you guys should care about, as I already said previously, is just to see your projects developing. That's all you guys should care about. If your projects are working, they're forming partnerships, they're building new stuff, they're going to events, because when you go to events, you build new partnerships, you see new people, you meet new people, you meet other projects that can help each other out, and you form that partnership and it makes your project better. And that's what you should look for. Like Sensei is going to like 5 different events coming up soon, which is good because they're going to form new partnerships there and get more connections. So I am still bullish on OTK. I've called OTK still building, yes. Thoughts on KOLs? I'm not a fan of KOLs, but I'd rather buy Chirply over KOLs. It's a very similar concept, but I prefer Chirply. What's the best time to DCA heavy and how to figure out when that is? The best time to DCA heavy is like, let's go on the BVM chart, right? If your token is doing this for like a month, because this is a good example, right? Let's go on the year chart. If your token is doing this for like a month, or it's just flat, just holding the same level, maybe up and down 5, 10%, whatever, give or take, that is the best time to reduce heavy. To go heavy, because it's not doing anything and it's just holding this price for a while. That means it's the bottom. The people that's holding the tokens, they're going to hold it. The people that sold, they're already sold. And it's only a matter of time before it blows up. So when you start seeing this, for like a couple of months, is the best time to DCA heavy, because it shows how many tokens. Like, let me show you a prime example. The one that I did last year in 2023, it was Lit Labs. Even though Lit Labs is gay now, it's fucking rug pulled. But before, it was promising gaming project. So it was just going down, and it was just holding this region for like a whole month, damn near. It held this region for a month, so it made sense to buy over here heavy. And guess what happened? Boom. You see, this is what's going to happen when the next time we pump. You're going to see these tokens dead, and then they're just going to explode out of nowhere. It's just that, do you have the patience to wait from May all the way down to fucking November to see this crazy amount of money? This is what crypto is, and people don't realize this. You have to have patience. The people that was buying here, they must have been stressed when the coin was down here, right? They must have been stressed because it went down like 30, 50% damn near, 50, 60% down. You have to have balls, to buy it. And then you see crazy money when it goes to 5 cents from 2 zeros down. So all it comes down to is patience. Buy the right projects, be patient, and you'll pay off. And when it does pump, make sure to take profits. Be smart. ETH gas is reduced to 5-year lows. We should see a bullish. Yeah, it has reduced. Historically, when the ETH gas fees go down, it means there's a good time to trade pretty much. But let's see on it. Because ETH is highly dependent on QT. and QE. Monetary policy plays a massive role on ETH and all coins in general. The max amount of coins to hold 20. I think 20 is normal depending on the size of your portfolio. I would be holding between 10 to 20 coins max. Anything more than that becomes too much headache to keep track of. So 10 to 20, I think, is perfect. Like I said, depending on the size of your portfolio. If you got like a 50k portfolio, I would recommend between 10, 5, between 15 to 20 coins. On average, you should aim to get at least 1 to 2k in each coin, at least. My goal is every coin I buy has to be minimum 2k, because that's how you're going to see decent money. You're not going to get decent money on 300 here, 200 there, 250 here, 400 there. You're not going to make money like that. You want to go find the good, better projects and just accumulate slowly, and just be patient after that. It requires a lot of patience. Every time it does, there's always, every coin is like that. You goes down, goes down, goes down, and then just explodes up. Netmine, Destra. Netmine's good. Destra, I'm not a fan of myself. Just Destra's only good because Alex Becker shows it. That's it. These coins only pump because of Alex Becker. If it wasn't for him, and this chart looks pretty good, it's held stable. But if it wasn't for him, this shit would have not done fuck all. It would probably rock pulled by now. But he's holding this coin alive. Same thing with NMT is not too bad. I think it has a clear use case. I would say it's not a bad token. It's not a bad token, but it looks like you probably will go lower though. Keep that in mind. It probably will go lower. On that note, guys, I will be wrapping up this live stream. It's been okay, been quite fun. Tomorrow is a day that everyone should keep an eye out on the inflation numbers. It will come out, don't know, like 1:30 UK time. So keep that in mind. Make sure you all look into it. That's going to dictate which way the market goes tomorrow. And like I said, we are in no rush at the moment. So DCA slowly. There's a lot of good developments on our projects. They are still developing. They're still building. And, that's the most important thing. When you got all, that's just look at the people that they go into this event with. It's crazy. They've got other companies as well, like fucking Mine Network, Aspect. I don't know what the fuck that is. They got XYOs on there. They got Yield Guild. So they got a lot of other companies that obviously Alt is partnered with as well. They're partnered with XYO. They're partnered with I think it's Holochain. I'm not too sure. They're partnered with quite a few of these companies. But this is the big announcement, which was the consensus in Hong Kong, and then they've got another big announcement coming afterwards. So that's why I'm bullish on Alt. And yeah, overall market are looking good. Bitcoin is looking good on the long term. Short term doesn't really matter. The long term, it looks good. But yeah, I'll see you guys very soon. Maybe tomorrow. I'll probably live stream tomorrow. Maybe I'll do, actually, let me see. I'll see how inflation number is. If it's good, then there's no point in me live streaming. If it's bad, then I'll live stream. But take care of yourself, guys. I will see you guys very soon. Maybe tomorrow, hopefully. Bye-bye.